Guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have something extremely cool to check out. We've got a brand new resin kit out, and what's exciting about this is it's Lana Time Shops' very first original model, fully created and released by them. This is their Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it's something that, again, I think looks really nice. You can see we've got a gorgeous version of a T-Rex here. Obviously sporting lips, which is always something that's fun as well, but the mouth is in an open position, giving us that nice ferocious sort of a look. And again, a nice big bulky body here for the T-Rex, super highly detailed as well. And of course, as usual, when it comes to resin kits, something I've been doing for a little while now that I usually try to do, I've only assembled the model. I have not obviously like filled in the seams or painted it or anything quite yet. I only assembled it so you can basically see what you would be getting. I try to be as transparent as possible with my reviews and show you basically how it will look. Again, once it arrives, it comes in pieces, and this has just been glued together, and that's all. And then, of course, you also have a base, and the base is just one solid piece. There's no assembly required for that. But I think the model does look really cool here at first glance, of course, so let's go ahead and jump straight to a closer look, and we'll check it out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt, as I said, you can see the mouth is held open here. It is obviously either letting out a vocalization or coming in for a bite on something. So that, of course, gives it straight away a pretty cool dynamic appearance as far as the model goes. But you can see that the skin texture itself does look really nice, and it has that same type of skin texture we've been seeing quite often when it comes to Tyrannosaur models, where you have that kind of finer scaling up in the face, much larger scales there kind of running along the jawline. You see the same here for the lower jaw, and the detail is very vibrant, very impressive. You can also see the nostrils sculpted out up here on the top of the snout, and again just moving through the entire head of the T-Rex. It looks really good. The teeth are, of course, sculpted as well, and you can see those on the inside of the mouth. I love the way that they connect to the gums. That looks extremely realistic. Same deal for the lower jaw as well. You can see the detail on the inside of the mouth is absolutely fantastic. Like looking back there, you can see the throat and everything, and the fine detail up here on the top of the inside of the mouth as well looks incredible. One thing you may notice, though, is there is no tongue currently here on the inside of the mouth. I do have the tongue, I just haven't put it in yet because it'll be a lot easier to paint if I don't put the tongue in quite yet. So once I get the inside of the mouth painted, then I'll add the tongue. Of course, when we look at it, once it's finished, we'll see that. But as you continue to move along, you can see some really nice osteoderms here on the lower jaw. You can see all sorts of skin texture and scale detail, as well as nice skin wrinkles and creases here. The dinosaur does have its head turned toward the right a little bit, so you would absolutely expect to see that down here on the underside of the dinosaur in the throat region. All sorts of creasing up here on the side of the neck as well, and you can see the ears right there. You can obviously see a seam here where the lower jaw was connected, as well as a seam where the neck was connected. As you move back, you can kind of make out the shoulder blade, but they've done a great job of giving this dinosaur a very nice, healthy look. It doesn't look shrink-wrapped or anything like that, which is definitely a plus. As you move down here into the arm, you can see some nice muscle definition in the arm. You can also see where the arm was connected, but yet again, I think overall the kit fits so nicely, and there aren't really any issues when it comes to the pieces going together smoothly. You almost can't even see the seam where the arm was connected, which says a lot about how good this kit is straight out of the box. As you move down, you can see the elbow as well, and again the fingers look nice. You've got some nice kind of scoots running down the fingers, and the nails have a genuine sharp look to them as well, which is a good thing. Continuing to move up here into the stomach, again you can see some skin stretching off of the leg right there. You can also kind of make out the rib cage a little bit. If we kind of turn it and let the light hit it, we can also see the very nice looking scale detail, which I think will be really fun to paint out once we get to that point. As you move back up here, you can see the spinal column moving along the back of the dinosaur. The hip bone as well is present. There's a line of scoots moving over the top of the hip bone, and moving down into the thigh. That scale detail looks really, really nice, and you can also see again that we've got the muscle definition here of the thigh present, which looks really good. Moving down, you can see where the leg was connected at the knee. You can see the knee itself, as well as the nice calf muscle, some creasing there in the joint of the leg. Moving down, obviously this foot is in the process of picking up off of the ground. We've got the scoots running down here on the front of the foot down into the toes. The toes are are bent, and the nails as well have a nice genuine sharp look to them down here on the feet. You can also see the dew claws are present for the model. And then moving back up here toward the tail, we've got some more creasing back behind the thigh. Again, the seam where the tail was connected. That might be the most as far as a gap goes on any of the pieces that are connected, which that's actually really not bad at all. And then as you move back, you can see how the skin is kind of, creasing and stuff as you move along. You can see more really vibrant scale detail moving along. Also a nice curve to the tail as you lead out. You can see the tail does have a pretty nice looking curve to it that isn't in any way, shape, or form unrealistic. As you move back along the underside, you can see a bit of a different look to the scale detail of the underside, even a line of kind of scoots running along the underside of the tail. You've got a cloaca present, and you see those scoots kind of follow along the underside of the dinosaur, moving up through the pelvic area as well as the stomach. It does start to disappear, though, as we lead into the stomach and closer toward the chest, you can see those scoots do disappear, but the scale detail continues to look really vibrant. You can see the chest of the dinosaur right there, and if we turn it around, you can see again the head sculpt looks really good over here. Actually, I guess that part right there would probably be the biggest gap that we have for the lower jaw, again, as far as gaps go on this model. But that'll be pretty easy to conceal again once we use some putty will seal that right up. But as you move back into the neck, you can see all kinds of skin wrinkles and stuff, and you can see the movement of the dinosaur shown very nicely in the sculpt. Moving back, you can see this arm again is held very nice and naturally into the body like you would expect it to be. You can see the leg kind of pushing into the stomach right here, wrinkling the skin up right in front of the thigh. You can also see some wrinkles and creases down here in the lower part of the thigh. Again, you can kind of make out the rib cage right there, the spinal column moving along the back. Same type of detailing as you move through the course of the body, but you can see that this leg has kind of taken a step forward, and you can kind of see that here, of course, in the sculpt as far as the way the skin is stretching and moving, and also the muscle definition. You can really see how tensed the muscles are on this side of the dinosaur, because that leg is picking up off of the ground, which means this leg is supporting a large amount of the weight of the dinosaur. So, definitely would be tensing. Same deal for the calf muscle right there. Again, the knee and the front of the leg. And then as you move down, that is a beautiful, very bird-like foot sculpt for our T-Rex as you lead along. Again, nice and flat on the ground as it's planted, and you can see the peg. Even the undersides of the feet are actually really highly detailed. But then again, you move up here again toward the tail and you lead out with that really nice curve. So the T-Rex is fantastic, and I cannot wait to get some paint on it. And the base looks really good as well. Again, we've got a really nice earthy area here, just kind of like a large, almost like a dirt mound that our Tyrannosaurus is walking along on. You can kind of make out a faint footprint back here. Definitely a more obvious footprint up here where the peg would go into the base. And then you have this nice underside to it. Nothing too amazing or flashy going on. Nothing really going on here on the underside either. They probably should have put like some sort of a logo for Lana Time Shop or something on the underside, but it looks really nice, and I'm very excited to get this all finished and painted up. So let's do it, and we'll bring it right back. And here is my fully painted and fully finished version of the Lana Time Tyrannosaurus Rex. And I gave it a pretty interesting color scheme, something that I've never done before, so I felt like that would be pretty fun to do. And I didn't really have anything specific in mind with this one. I didn't have any real inspiration or anything. I just kind of started painting and then saw where it took me. And apparently this is where it took me. It's something I do quite often, and it usually turns out, I guess, okay. So I was actually pretty happy with this. And as per usual, once you get some paint work on it, you can really see again how nice the details pop on this sculpt. It is an absolutely fantastic looking Tyrannosaurus Rex. The tongue, of course, is now inside the mouth as well, which is a great thing. You can see the detail through the course of the inside of the mouth. Looks fantastic. Again, once you add some paint work to it, get those teeth painted out. And again, it is definitely one of the nicest looking Tyrannosaurus models I think that you can find on the market anywhere right now. It is, again, about as impressive looking as you can find. The fine detail, as you can see moving through the model, is fantastic. It shows every ounce of sculpt, every ounce of detail you would want to see for the Tyrannosaurus in the position that it's in and everything. It's got this really nice dynamic appearance to it. Of course, on top of everything, the tail curve looks really good, and then as you move along the underside, you can see all of the sculpt and detail for the underside looks fantastic. I gave it a little blue in the throat because I do like to do that from time to time with different dinosaur models. But again, you've also got a nice, just big, bulky appearance to the T-Rex. It definitely has that intimidating look like we often see Tyrannosaurus portrayed with nowadays. So that as well, I think, is something that's pretty fun about the model. And on top of that, again, with the mouth wide open, letting out a vocalization, or maybe even just coming in for a bite to eat or something, whatever the case may be, that also helps to add, again, the really cool visual to this model. So I'm actually pretty darn happy with my paint. Not my greatest paint job ever, I would say, but it's still pretty cool, and definitely, again, happy with the final product because of how nice the actual model itself is. And we, of course, have the base. I didn't really do too much with the base outside of just applying some paintwork to it, and I did add this little bit of vegetation because I didn't want to go too crazy with this one. I'm considering maybe spicing it up a little bit here at some point in the near future, maybe adding like some dead leaves or something onto it, maybe a few logs or sticks or something, just to kind of liven it up a little bit. But the sculpt itself, as you can see, looks great, and once you add some paintwork to that as well, it just comes to life very nicely. And again, you have the underside. I didn't really do a whole lot to the underside, just gave it a once over with the coloration because I won't really see that after this. But again, it does look really nice, and again, is a very cool base for a gorgeous T-Rex. And as you can see, our T-Rex is now standing nice and tall on its base, looking pretty cool. And another thing that is actually cool that I didn't show off at the beginning of the video is we also get this little card here with it, showing off the Lana Time Shop logo, as well as the skull of the T-Rex kind of within the body there. And what else is cool is here on the back you can see, of course, welcome to our store, and you have a little information there about Lana Time Shop, which of course you want to definitely grab that information. If you are unfamiliar with them, you absolutely need to check them out. I order from them all the time, and it's now even cooler that they actually have models of their own. But what else is really cool is you can see that this looks like we've got the limited edition number of our T-Rex, and if that is what this is, that means that I have one. I have number 1 of the Lana Time Shop Tyrannosaurus Rex, and that is awesome if that is in fact, again, what we're looking at there with the limited edition number. But as far as the T-Rex goes, as far as a size, for a length from the tip of the tail to the snout, you're looking at about 12 3/4 inches. I would say, yeah, right around, maybe even a little bit closer to 13, actually. Once you go to the top jaw there, you can see we're getting close to 13 inches, but not quite, or around 32.5, maybe closing in on 33 centimeters. And then for a height to the top of the neck, just shy of 5.5 inches, or a little bit under 14 centimeters. For a size comparison, we've got Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect Day Human Being next to our Lana Time Shop Tyrannosaurus Rex. And you can see that the Papo T-Rex and the Lana Time Shop T-Rex are pretty similar in size overall, and I have, of course, heard over the years that the Papo T-Rex is 1/35th scale, so that makes complete sense. But for another size comparison, here is a Mattel Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus, standing in for another comparison here with our T-Rex, as well as the Safari LTDU Tyrannus, Schleich Diabloceratops, and Collect Day Deluxe Dimetrodon. And then a comparison that I was actually really looking forward to seeing. We have the Lana Time Shop version of the T-Rex next to the PNSO T-Rex Wilson, and again, both of these are in 1/35th scale, so you can see how similar they are in size, though I will say the PNSO version there is a little bit bulkier than what we see on the Lana Time Shop version, but really not by much. They're actually very, very similar in size. Then we've also got the more recent offering from W Dragon of their Tyrannosaurus Rex next to the Lana Time Shop version, and I really wanted to bring this one in because I have actually seen people comparing comparing these two when it comes to the similarities, as they're kind of in the same walking pose. They both have their mouths open. Even the tails kind of curve in a similar way. I mean, it's inevitable you're gonna find things like this. It's just, you know, there's only so many poses you can get out of dinosaurs, so it's bound to turn up looking similar to another model that's been, you know, released in the past. But you can obviously see very different when it comes to the overall visual of the two dinosaurs, but they are definitely in similar poses, though the W Dragon version is obviously quite a bit larger. And then for one final comparison, I wanted to bring in the Rebor version of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, because it's probably one of the single most popular Tyrannosaurus Rex models potentially ever. So it was definitely one that I felt like would be a good one to bring in for a comparison. Next to the Lana Time Shop version, which you can see, the Rebor version is significantly larger. So this brand new Lana Time Shop Tyrannosaurus Rex in 1/35th scale is honestly gorgeous. I think the model overall is really well done, and considering it's Lana Time Shop's first official release, like, that's pretty cool. And to have such a great looking model as the very first release from them is also pretty impressive. Also says a lot about what we can expect coming from them in the future. I think overall, when it comes to a dinosaur model, if you're going to start releasing models, why not choose the king of the dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus Rex? And honestly, I feel like they've given us one of the best looking Tyrannosaurus models on the market overall. The sculpt is really well done. It shows off every ounce of detail that you would probably like to see for a model like this. A really nice dynamic position as well, which is of course a great thing. You've got a nice big bulky walking Tyrannosaurus Rex. The mouth is wide open as it's letting out some form of a vocalization, or maybe coming in for a bite on something. I'm not too sure, but it looks really good as far as that goes. And at 1/35th scale, it is a very popular size range as well. And of course, it is a model kit, so you would have to paint it up yourself. So it's up to you how you want to paint it, what colors you want to choose. I went with this coloration on mine because I didn't want anything too overly flashy, but I wanted it to look, you know, what I would think a Tyrannosaurus could look like with a little bit of flashiness. And I feel like, you know, I achieved it for the most part, and I'm pretty happy with my paint apps. Not my best paint job ever, but it definitely looks cool enough, I guess. But overall, again, when it comes to a Tyrannosaurus Rex model, very few, in my opinion, are as nice as what you have here from Lana Time Shop. So if you are interested in picking one up for yourself, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on Lana Time Shop right now. So make sure you check that link, go grab this awesome T-Rex, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.